I do suppose we can get right into this little session today. Um, First video that I wanted to check out. I know it's an old video. I know this. But if you know who wins, you don't have to tell me. You don't have to spoil it for the rest of us. Actually, I'm glad you can't tell me because I'm live streaming and you're just watching this probably on YouTube. Maybe you joined in on the stream a little late. I don't know. But the first video that we're going to check out is two of my favorite characters. You know what I'm saying? One is in a cartoon, what people would call a cartoon, and the other one's from the anime. You know what I'm saying? You probably already saw the title. You probably figured out what's going on. Let me just show you. Come on. Aang versus Edward Elric. Avatar versus Full Metal Alchemist. Death battle. That being said, let's think about it real quick. Before we get into this, let's think about it. Edward can, transmute pretty much anything, right? But the ground is like Earth. So Aang can control Earth. Yet sure, Edward can transmute metal as well. But Aang can metal bend as well. Now, I don't know if Edward can transmute something into a different type of metal that Aang can't bend. He probably can. But I don't know. I mean, Aang is mostly long range, right? Yeah, he can fight close range as well. And Edward is also, I feel like Edward is mostly close range, but he can also, do long range attacks. I don't know, man. This might be. But Aang has the Avatar state where he can control all the elements. And then, of course, he has all the elements at once. And then, of course, he can individually control all the elements. And when he's not in Avatar state, he can control them like one at a time or something. We're a little better. But Avatar state just kind of boosts everything up. So I think Aang might win this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like Edward. I don't really like any character better than the other one. So I think Aang might win this. It's no what's the word? I think it starts with B. Anyway, I'm not choosing sides. You know what I'm saying? It's just I feel like Aang might win it. But let's check this out. See what's good. See what's great. See what's going on. No hate. As always, links to the video and to the channel will both be in the description below. So be sure to check out Death Battle. And yeah, let's get it.
Have you heard of hymns? They're all about making you look and feel good.
Thanks to science, baldness can be optional because Hims is here to help.
Hey,
for Hims,
is this a low-key a shot at Aang for being bald? I mean, it's kind of messed up, but okay.
.com is your one-stop solution for hair loss, skincare, and sexual wellness for men.
Get started with the complete hair kit for just $5 right now while supplies last and subject to doctor approval. See their website for full details and safety information. This could cost hundreds if you went to another doctor or pharmacy.
So go to forhims.com/deathbattle. That's FORHIMS.com/deathbattle.
Forhims.com/deathbattle.
All right, here we go.
The elements make up every aspect of the world we live in, and no average person can tame them.
But somehow these kids can master them with a vengeance.
Like Aang, the Avatar.
And Edward Elric, the Full Metal Alchemist. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Water. Earth. Fire. Air.
Heart!
Once the
that shit always popped in my head when I was watching Death Battle. Oh, not Death Battle, but Avatar. Heart. With our powers combined, I am Captain Planet. See, Aang just missing the heart. The Avatar state is the heart. Does Aang become Captain Planet?
4 nations lived in harmony, and some of their citizens could even learn to bend their nation's element. But only the Avatar could master all four, and it's their duty to protect the balance between these nations.
And since there's always gotta be an Avatar around, a new one is born whenever the last one dies.
But everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Attempting to conquer the other three nations, the Avatar would inevitably be their greatest obstacle.
Man, they'd even go after a kid?
Living among
That's
the
kinda
air
messed up.
nomads, Aang was an
It's messed up, but at low key, like you have to respect it. It's like, hey yo, they mean business. They try to completely squash the Air Nation. They try to completely, you know what I'm saying? They on business, bro. And right now, even going after kid, I'm like, I know it's kind of messed up, but that's standing on business. Like they came to take over, bro. So, but at the same time, it's a good thing they didn't succeed.
energetic and dutiful 12 years old when he learned of his destiny. He was the newest incarnation of the Avatar.
But he totally wussed out, ran away from home, and got frozen in ice for 100 years.
Yeah, pretty
What
much.
the hell? That's not what I'd do if I found out I was an awesome elemental badass. I'd definitely find a way to make money off that.
Boomstick, he's 12. But running away actually saved his life, as the Fire Nation knew the next Avatar would be an air nomad and slaughtered them all in a horrific surprise attack.
But the poor kid wouldn't be stuck in ice forever. He was eventually rescued by some new friends and began his quest to learn the other elements and save the world. And as an air nomad, he can really bend the wind to his will.
Oh my god. Anyway, what was I was gonna say, what if instead of Katara and what's his name? I keep wanting to say Sasuke, but it's not Sasuke. The Katara and her brother, instead of them finding Aang, what if Zuko found Aang first? But Zuko was the good guy and the Water Nation was the bad guys. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just thinking about shit, that's all. Thinking out loud.
He can use air bending to create whirlwinds and tornadoes or slice through solid stone.
And he can fly! Whee!
Well, it's not exactly flying, Boomstick.
Gliding.
What he actually does is manipulate the air currents to keep aloft. That's why he carries a glider, complete with snacks.
Oh, well, I'm sure that'll come in handy.
Whatever, if it looks like a duck and sounds like a duck, it's a duck. Or I guess, flying avatar guy.
But ducks actually can fly. Anyway, Aang can
Wing
use
glider.
air in pretty much every aspect of his life. Like for shields, increasing his speed, improving agility, adjusting his body temperature, and even focusing his breath to use as an attack.
After he learned waterbending from Paku and Katara, Aang can make whips, knives, and literal tsunamis. Hey, I can do that too. Just give me a pool and watch this cannonball fly. Does that mean I'm a waterbender?
Sure.
In a way,
Waterbenders
in
can
a way.
also manipulate steam and ice.
Just like how I, the great
Waterbenders can also manipulate blood if they learn blood bending. Too bad Aang never learned blood bending, bro. I'm just saying that shit would have been dope. If I was a waterbender, if I was the Avatar or a waterbender, I would definitely learn blood bending. You know what I'm saying? It's like, nigga, what'd you say to me? Shh, like, you know what I'm saying? Just boom, like they're done. Like it's over with, bruh.
waterbender Boomstick the Wet will use my powers to swim through this frozen block.
You what?
Yep, waterbending 101. You can be jealous.
Oh wow, I'm just bursting with envy.
Bending powers activate!
Bending powers?
Ah!
I think I swim through it, not on it.
Ha! Success!
Like airbending, waterbending requires a nearby source of water to use, like a pond or a filled bottle.
Did it say like airbending?
Ha! Success!
Like airbending, waterbending requires a nearby source of water to use.
But airbending doesn't really require a nearby anything. Like air is everywhere. Even if you're in an enclosed space, I mean, as long as you have air in your lungs, you can still use that. Like, so I don't really agree with that statement. Like waterbending or like airbending, water bending requires a nearby pond or lake. I don't agree with that statement. Maybe Listen, maybe I'm hearing it a different way than he's trying to say it. I don't know.
like a pond or a filled bottle. The same goes for earthbending, which Aang learned from his mentor Toph.
Earthbending is all about throwing rocks at people, and a bunch of other cool stuff, like making walls and earthquakes and causing the ground to swallow you up. Which is kinda creepy, actually.
Last but certainly not least,
It is
Aang
kinda
learned
creepy.
the art of firebending from his longtime rival, Prince Zuko. Unlike the other arts, firebenders can actually create fire to use
Yeah, that's
at
what's up.
will.
Firebending is so goddamn powerful. It's even got the deadliest bending technique of all, shooting lightning.
But,
Well, only the most advanced.
Aang never learned that, did he? Like how to control lightning? No, he did do it once.
Advanced firebenders can cast lightning, which is usually an instant kill move. While Aang never learned the move itself, he has learned how to redirect it through his body.
But even after learning the 4 elements, Aang got to meet one last master bender.
Who taught him the art of manipulating a person's life energy, the
forgot about
purest
that.
form of bending.
It's super dangerous though, and one mistake could tear up Aang's soul.
And with it, Aang defeated the Fire Lord and brought peace to the world at large.
Well, with that and with his super form, the Avatar State.
In the Avatar state, Aang's bending abilities grow immensely powerful. This is because the Avatar state lets Aang draw upon the power and wisdom of all previous Avatar incarnations. Though it is extremely risky, as dying while in the Avatar state ends the cycle of reincarnation permanently.
Why would he care if he's dead anyway? Whatever.
Aang had difficulty learning the Avatar state and for a while could only access it during moments of extreme stress. He eventually learned to unblock his chakras and master the state.
The coolest thing about the Avatar State is it makes
I forgot to pay attention if these little things were popping up. So I wasn't reading them until now.
you glow like this. Behold!
You can actually glow.
How are
Is
you
your head supposed to
doing
glow too?
Oh, I drank a bunch of glow sticks.
What the
You
fuck?
need to go to the doctor, like right now.
My lip.
Yo, don't drink glow sticks, please. This shit is toxic. Like, it's not toxic as in like, just saying, oh, you're toxic. No, it's literally like, it will kill you. Like, don't.
Flavor's processed way worse than this.
Well, with or without the Avatar state, Aang is plenty powerful. He has the ability to move gigantic stone columns and even carve canyons around an entire city.
Not only has he survived hits from earthbending kings and massive explosions, he threw this gigantic column of rock at the Fire Lord.
To get the column's mass, we compared Aang's height against it and determined it must weigh 9,500
Damn.
tons.
Aang's super fast too. With airbending, he can run on water.
Which, given his size, requires a movement speed of well over 67 miles per hour.
Okay.
He used airbending to block a giant column-destroying explosive attack from the best-named character on the show, Combustion Man.
And he's proven he could redirect.
I mean, that is kind of dope. Like shooting like little combustion laser beams out your third eye, technically, like out the middle of your head. Like that's. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. He just breathes in and just, pew. I'm like, damn. All right, what's to say? Firebend lightning likely travels the same speed as natural lightning. Iroh, who invented the technique, has even caught and redirected lightning from a storm.
lightning from the Fire Lord himself. Taking into account the distance between them and how far Aang's arm had to move to catch the lightning, he would have to react at least 155 times faster than sound.
He is
Whoa.
pretty unused to.
Wait.
155 times faster than sound.
So greater than 53,000 miles per hour. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Aang might win this. You know what I'm saying?
He is pretty unused to violence, though. I mean, he's a vegetarian pacifist for crying out loud. But while he may seem like just a kid, Aang still saved the world and led it into a peaceful future. To him, bending is elementary.
If you want to be a bender, you have to let go of fear.
All right, let's see it.
Alchemists of old once tried to turn lead into gold with not great results. But in the country of Amestris, the ancient science of alchemy is actually possible by using the Earth's natural energy to reshape the molecular structure of various objects.
And by drawing a circle thingy.
a transmutation circle, which most alchemists use except for the youthful prodigy, Edward Elric.
Oh, what a little badass!
Careful, Boomstick, he's a bit touchy about his size.
Right.
Hey,
He's
if I
18.
lost my mom like he did, I'd get mad at the little stuff too. But Ed and his brother Alphonse figured they could bring her back with alchemy. So they went for it, but things went south real fast.
They learned a huge
You know how
lesson.
people say they'd give an arm and a leg for something? Well, Ed literally did, and poor Al lost his whole body. Luckily, Ed managed to stick his brother's soul in a suit of armor, but still, yikes.
This horrible experience has forever marked the two brothers. No one is meant to transmute the human soul, and the boys were lucky just to escape with their lives.
But he got something good out of it, like super secret knowledge, including how to do alchemy without a circle thingy. He just has to clap instead. So, worth it?
With these new abilities, Ed and Alphonse began their quest to restore their bodies. Specifically, they sought the incredible power of a Philosopher's Stone, believing it to be their only chance.
Wait. So in this fight, is Ed gonna have the Philosopher's Stone? Are they gonna let Ed use the Philosopher's Stone? If Ed has the Philosopher's Stone, Aang can have his Avatar state. I mean, if Aang has his Avatar state, Ed can have the Philosopher's Stone.
Eventually, Ed joined the military, and thanks to his
At the
amazing
same time, Avatar state is like innate in him. It's a part of him because he's the Avatar. The Philosopher's Stone is something they had to run around, travel, and get. And for a long time, they didn't even want because it uses like human souls to do it, like human bodies and souls and shit to do it. But he'll probably still use it.
potential, he was
did
named by
before.
the Fuhrer the Full Metal Alchemist.
Wait, what? Adolf Hitler?
Nah, it's just Bradley. He's okay. Until he isn't.
Spoilers! Also, since Ed lost a couple limbs, he got them replaced with automail, kinda like my leg.
Automail is made from incredibly durable metal, ranging from his original steel one, to a gas-powered one, to his best version consisting of a mix of aluminum and carbon. Apart from being durable metal prosthetics, Ed's automail limbs function just like normal ones.
Now, can Aang still bend it? Because we know Aang can metal bend, but we don't know what types of metal. You know what I'm saying? So his metal for different types of metal, and he can change, what types of metals it is. Or Ed can change what type of metal it is. But can Aang still bend it? Technically, it's still metal.
He can even reshape his arm as a weapon.
So he can turn it into swords and saws and stuff, increase its durability by hardening its makeup, or turn it into an umbrella. Ah, truly a limb of many talents.
But at the end of the day, Ed's true talent lies not in sword fighting or umbrella holding, but the art of alchemy.
He can do all sorts of crazy things with all the elements. He can basically make anything he wants, like spears and shields.
So long as he follows the rule of equivalent exchange. Anything created with alchemy must have a source of equal value and cannot be made fundamentally different. For example, lead can be molded into a statue, but it cannot be turned into water. Other than that, there are 3 principles needed to use alchemy well: comprehension,
Which means you gotta understand what the thing you're using is made of.
destruction,
Breaking stuff down,
and reconstruction.
putting stuff back together.
Ed is only limited by the materials at hand and his imagination. At his full potential, he can do almost anything.
Okay, but he can't transmute air. I don't know if he can transmute water. Well, I mean, it is an element, so he can probably do that. Yeah, he can. Of course he can. What am I thinking? Fire? Can he transmute fire? Probably. I mean, it's like, it's got oxygen in it. Well, it needs oxygen to breathe. Well, I don't know, bro. But anyway, and of course, Earth, he can transmute that.
He can purify water, create ammonium gas from ammonium nitrate, repair entire houses, and transform a gun into a trumpet.
Don't you ever try and do that with any of my guns. Anyway, Ed's also learned destruction alchemy, which does exactly what.
While Ed has never used destruction alchemy on a human target, he is actually aware of its capabilities. Scar has used it against people to great effect. Oh, that's right, he has that too. I mean, even though he's never used it, would he be willing to use it against Aang if his life is on the line? Probably, right? I mean, he should.
What you think it does? Make a big ol' kaboom! Ed's used it to destroy stuff like automail, but it can also be used to explode people's heads!
So, using destruction alchemy, Ed should be able to destroy something like this on a molecular level.
Ha! Or you could just do that.
Anyway, with all of his abilities, Ed has done some incredibly impressive things.
Not only has he blocked gunfire from a Gatling gun after it started firing, he's dodged a pistol from nearly point-blank range, and his automail arm even took a bite from a lion-headed chimera. It was totally fine!
Assuming this chimera has a similar bite force to that of a real lion, that means Ed's arm stood up to a force of 1,000 pounds per square inch.
He's created a gigantic cannon and then survived that cannon exploding while he was standing on it. And then he survived being on top of a huge
Okay, but does that explosion equal the explosion that Aang survived when he was fighting, what's her name?
boulder exploding too?
We can measure the boulder's explosion against Ed's size to get an approximate energy output. With a radius of 36 feet, this blast must have been equivalent to over 100 tons of TNT.
How's that for equivalent exchange, bitches? He also survived an explosion that took out most of a 10-story building.
Even apart from being tough, Ed has shown considerable strength when using alchemy.
Like when he created a gigantic golem to crush his opponent.
By measuring the size of the stone golem's thumb, comparing it to the size of the average human's thumb, and using that scale to estimate the size of the golem, that gives us an estimated weight of over 3,000 metric tons.
All this without any Philosopher's Stone, because it turns out those things are really, really messed up.
Right, Philosopher's Stones are extremely powerful and can be used in many different ways. Kimberly the Crimson Lotus Alchemist, for example, used one to create a massive explosion equal to 157 kilotons of TNT. However, it turns out that these stones are composed of imprisoned human souls. So Ed and Al vowed to avoid them on principle. Although Ed can boost his alchemic power in a similar manner by drawing on his own life force, increasing his potential at the cost of shortening his lifespan. But that's what Ed ultimately had to learn, what it truly means to let something go. And so he found another way to revive Al's body, sacrificing his own power for the sake of family.
Aw, what a nice guy. But all in all, so long as Ed knows what he's trying to transmute, he's an amazing force to be reckoned with.
Now let's go home. Together.
I don't know, man. I forgot about the destruction alchemy. So he can like he does obviously has a chance to get the beat to Aang, but if he loses that arm, if he loses his metal arm, if Aang like bends it into a way that that keeps him from being able to clap and make that circle, then he won't be able to attack as fast, and Ed won't be able to attack as fast. So he'll have to actually make draw a circle. But I don't know. Like if Ed feels pressured and needs to get close enough, all he has to do is touch Aang and use that destruction alchemy. And of course, he can draw upon his own life force to increase his strength and power. I don't know, man. I still think Aang might win, but we're gonna find out.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
But first, thanks to Blue Apron, I've become a food vendor.
Oh God.
By now, you've probably heard of Blue Apron, the leading meal kit delivery service in the US.
Choose your meals each week, get the ingredients delivered to your doorstep, and whip up a meal using the easy-to-follow directions provided.
It's a great way to get fantastic meals without having to worry about all that tedious prep work cooking at home usually requires.
And if you jump in now, you'll get some delicious summer choices like juicy burgers and tomato salsa.
Personally, this has been a fantastic way to get legitimately good meals into my busy weekly routine.
My favorite part is feeling like a master chef,
How healthy are they?
making creative and delicious meals with my own hands. You guys really need.
I'm legit curious. Like how healthy are they? Is like good healthy? Is it good? Is it worth it? Is it better than like what's those other stuff? Hello Fresh and freaking, it starts with an F. I forgot what it is. Factor, whatever. Is it better than those? Or like which one is the best one for that kind of thing?
To try it out.
It's pretty nice coming home knowing I'll have a delicious meal I can whip up with ease. To start making delicious, brag-worthy meals at home without the hassle, try Blue Apron.
Check out this week's menu and get $60 off at blueapron.com/battle. That's blueapron.com/battle.
Blue Apron, a better way to cook.
But right now, it's time for a death battle!
Get it. Let me spark up. Let me get ready.
Sorry, Momo. You're just too little.
Little? Who are you calling a pipsqueak, you stupid hairless kid?
What the? Why were you there?
Nobody?
I'll show you!
I knew how the fight started. Little. They're already turning into steam.
You know, there are actually a lot of advantages to being short. Like, you'll never hit your head on door frames, and,
I'm still growing!
I like how Aang tried to apologize.
Ah! Oh no! I'm sorry!
A classic misdirection. That's advantage Elric! Ha! Damn it! How's this for small? What kind of alchemy is that?
Okay, no more clappy magic.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
I don't think he can clap anymore. Unless he turns his nub into like a stub
I won't lose you again.
and claps that. There's the drawing.
There you are!
Nice try, Shorty!
He's got an arm back.
Whew. Can't believe that worked.
Oh, here we go.
This ends now.
Philosopher's Stone, or you use the life force? What's he gonna do, Ed? What's up?
At least I'm taller than you.
You left me no choice.
I mean, I guess Ed could have used his life force to increase his power, but he still wouldn't be able to clap. So, yeah. But that last line right before, at least I'm taller than you. Why didn't he say something like that before, after being called little, and just avoid the whole fight?
Looks like Ed didn't have a leg to stand on. Or arm, I guess.
Ed may have been more quick-witted and inventive.
Technically, Aang would have gained far more combat experience than Ed once he entered the Avatar state, hence accessing the memories of all the previous avatars across 10,000 years.
And he certainly had more combat experience. But Aang's bending abilities were far more versatile and readily available than combat alchemy.
Yeah, it had cool stuff like cannons and gun trumpets, but Aang was fast enough.
Depending on interpretation, Ed had some debatable lightning timing of feats. They are less clear and consistent than Aang's, and therefore less reliable for an argument. Aang's better mobility and seismic sense would still give him the edge in speed regardless.
Enough to react to lightning, which is way faster than dodging a measly bullet.
Recall how Ed survived an explosion that destroyed most of a 10-story building. By examining the size of the building and thus the volume of the conical explosion, this blast must have equaled about 30 kilotons of TNT.
That's cool, but Aang did way more when he carved up a circle around that city in Avatar State.
The force to blast such a huge ravine around the city of Udao was a massive undertaking. By measuring the width, length, and depth of the affected area compared to the size of the city, we found it would take almost 160 kilotons of TNT to pull that off.
More than 5 times greater than Ed's.
The closest Ed ever got to experiencing this level of destruction force was from Kimberly, who nearly killed him. Even if Ed could miraculously survive this level of power, past incarnations of the Avatar have feats of volcanic eruptions calculated to be in the Giganton range.
Best durability feat, so Aang definitely had the stuff to crush Ed's automail arm and the rest of him.
Granted, Ed could reach this sort of power by sacrificing his life force. Remember Kimberly's explosion, the one empowered by a Philosopher's Stone, a blast worth 157 kilotons of TNT? That's almost identical to Aang's feat, and theoretically, Ed could have been capable of this level of power. Theoretically. However, a Philosopher's Stone uses many souls, while Ed could only draw from his one. Not to mention, drawing from his own life force meant his power-up had a very short and dangerous duration limit compared to the Avatar state, which has no such limit. But even so, Ed's tactics and creativity kept him in the fight, yet the Avatar's speed, power, and versatility was too much for him. Aang may be a pacifist in canon and would hardly kill anyone, but unleashing his full power is a sight to behold.
Just when Ed thought he had the hang of it, he missed the mark.
The winner is Avatar Aang.
Okay. All right. So I got it right. Awesome. But at the same time, like I said, I wasn't on either side. I just had to think of it myself, and I know more about these two characters than I did, some of the other Death Battle characters I've watched. So I don't know, man. Like it just seemed like Aang wouldn't lose this. At the same time, I do wish we saw Edward go, draw from his soul, his life force, so that he could fight. So I do wish we could have seen that and see what he was capable of while fighting Aang with that. But we didn't get to see it. Let me know in the comments below if you think Ed using his life force still could have given him a chance at somehow beating Aang. Let me know if you think that in the comments below. And also let me know in the comments below if you've seen this and you got it right, or if this was your first time watching this and you got it right as well. But anyway, that's it for this YouTube video. Yeah. As always, links to Death Battle will be in the description below, so be sure to check them out. And while you're there, don't forget to do those 3 things that I like to ask you to do, and like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the notification bell for more videos. Yeah. And you know what it is after that. In case I don't see you, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Peace, and much love to you.